Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the final round of the Phoenix Sim Racing Intercontinental GT Challenge taking place at the fantastic Le Mans circuit tonight. We're in for very much a treat as these GT3 cars roar round. Now, unfortunately, we are not joined by the usual commentating duo of myself and Joel. You've got Brad Smith tonight. Brad, how are you doing tonight?
A little bit of a commentating with you, Tom.
Brilliant. Well, we'll have a look from our top scorers from round 7 from last week. It was Nathan Williams that scored the most points and actually takes the lead of the championship by 3 points over Nicky Taylor. But Nicky Taylor did not score second top scorer. It was Gabriel Norse who drove a fantastic drive in the Porsche, survived the carnage, got involved, got stuck in, and had some great battles overall. And then it was Nicky Taylor, your other championship protagonist, taking P3. Now, if we look to the drivers' standings, obviously that is what everyone will be interested in tonight, being the final round of the championship. It's Nathan Williams that leads by 3 points, giving him an extra 3 kg off success ballast, with Nicky Taylor on 27 kg in hot pursuit, only 3 points behind. We then have Albert Henriksen Bell, P3, on 294 points. It must be said, out of the championship fight, unless anything dramatic happens with the top two. It's then Katrikala in the lone Mustang that's doing very well in 250 points, followed by Olivia and Gabriel Norse in P6. Kyle Felvers will not be joining us tonight, but rounds out the top 7, with Josh Martin, Ethan Hill, and Jordan Taylor rounding out the top 10. Now, with only a few minutes left to go to qualifying, Brad, going into the final round of the championship, what do you think these drivers are what are their thoughts going to be on? Is it just sort of survival and try and bank as many points, or are they going to be all out going for it, trying to put on a show for the last round?
I think Nathan is going to try and stick to the back of Nicky, and Nicky's going to go all out. So it's going to be a good one between them two. If them two can get clear and be first and second, we're in for a good race towards the end of the race, I think, because with that gap only 3 points, I think Nathan's going to try and beat him. I think he's going to follow him through the whole race, and then towards the end attack to try and open that gap up a little bit more going into the second race, and then do the following in the second race as well. I think he'll just if Nathan beats Nicky in the first one, he'll just follow him in the second one.
I completely agree. They'll have to be smart with their decisions tonight. So we only have a few minutes left to qualify now. So these drivers will be dialing in the last little setup adjustments that they can, making sure their cars are absolutely pinpoint to try to be on the pace and on the money for only this 10-minute session. So it's only going to be an outlap and 2 push laps. So they are going to have to be absolutely on the money. No track limits. Track limits is a very big thing tonight, especially through the sector 3 of the Porsche curve. So they'll have to be extremely careful not to do anything silly. And we are just about getting ready to go to qualifying now. Drivers now in the pit lane, waiting. The nerves are starting to rise, and it was interestingly Nicky Taylor that secured first place in the practice sessions. It was reset a few times though, so it's not an accurate gauge, but he was a whopping 1.2 seconds in front of Albert Henriksen Bell, Johnny Ogden, Katrikala, Ethan Hill, and then Olivia Krzyżanowska in P6. Now Nathan Williams, Gabriel Norse, they did not set lap times in this final server, but it just goes to show how close it's going to be tonight, and that toe is going to be a huge effect. So if I was one of the championship leaders, I think I would potentially sit in the toe, save fuel, save tyres, and then go for it at the end of the race. They're only 20-minute races tonight, just like last week, so it's more of a sprint race rather than an enduro. The Porsches won't struggle so much on the tyre wear. They still struggled, but it will just be less prominent, and I think there'll be less mistakes and more outright fighting for the win.
Yeah, as you said, it'll be a good race. I believe to be honest, I totally forgot about Gabriel until you just mentioned him there. He could make a big upset between Nicky and Nathan here, because as you said, the Porsches lose their tyres towards the end. A slight mistake, if he stays with them, could really upset the championship, which could be interesting.
I think it could. I really think it could. Obviously, we saw at Bahrain of round 6. There was a huge squabble of about 6 cars, I believe it was, but they were all HFT cars. And the likes of Gabriel Norse, Albert Henriksen Bell, likes of Ethan Hill, Catricala, they were all involved in it. And we did see a few mistakes creep in towards the end of the race, a bit of contact here and there. And obviously for tonight, as you know, Brad, the championship is so tightly packed that they really can't afford any mistakes or any incidents, because the slightest bit of damage around here could really hurt their top end speed with that long Mulsanne straight.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be close, hard racing, and if there is a mistake from someone and it costs someone else the championship, I think there's going to be some words after.
I think there will.
Which is always entertaining. I always enjoy that part.
That's the bit that entertains us all. Obviously, the other thing to mention around here as well, being the final round of the championship, track limits is a huge thing. I alluded to it earlier, but through the Porsche curves and in Sector 1 as well, you run slightly too wide, get on the sausage curbs, it drags you in just slightly over the white line, and boom, you've picked up a track limit penalty. So if you accumulate a few of those throughout the race, penalties are starting to creep in. So I think all you viewers out there on YouTube are going to have to watch out for the socials, because I'm only going to give out provisional results tonight, and the stewards are going to have a look at any incidents that take place or occur and any track limits. And as I say that, we are now ready for qualifying. The drivers are making their way out onto the circuit just now. So, Brad, with this qualifying session, obviously the 10 minutes, they're going to have an outlap and 2 push laps. What would your sort of views be going into this? Is it try and get around as quickly as possible to set your laps, or is it get clean air and warm tyres? What would be your strategy?
I think I've done this track once before on Assetto Corsa, and I really struggled with overheating my tyres before I got to the Porsche curves. So I'd take it nice and steady on the outlap, leave myself just enough time to be able to get my 2 push laps in, and hope to the gods that I didn't mess up the Porsche curves. The thing is, it's when you look at it, it looks like a really easy set of corners. But the slightest mistake which puts you offline, or you get, like you said, you get a track limit. If you go offline, it punishes you through the whole thing, and you just can't get that time back. So it's a real difficult set of corners to get through and get perfect. Otherwise, you lose well over a second. It punishes you so hard. It'll be interesting to see what they do, because I can see some people are starting to push ahead, and I'm on board with Nicky, and he's just taking it easy, weaving, getting his tyres nice and up to temp. Probably it's. I think people are going to do different things. I think some people are going to push around, and some people are going to take it nice and easy, make sure they've got clean air, and then go from there.
Now, the interesting thing that I've spotted, you interestingly saying about Nicky Taylor, I've just gone on board with him, and I've looked behind on his relative, and Nathan Williams is following. He's not following Nicky Taylor, so Nicky Taylor's opted for the clean air strategy, but I think Nathan Williams, is he following... I think he's not following Albert Henriksen Bell. Albert Henriksen Bell is tucked in behind Nathan. I think it's Gabriel Norsi's tucked in behind, so it'll be interesting to see when Nicky Taylor comes across the line, and he was struggling in practice, interestingly, maybe not gelling with the circuit. If Nicky Taylor can judge this just right, get a nice gap to Gabriel where he's not getting held up by the toe, by the corners, but he's getting a lovely toe down the Mulsanne straight, that is worth probably a second, if not more, around this circuit, just due to the lengthiness of the circuit. So it'll be interesting to see what strategy plays out. But obviously, it is a 20-minute race. They're all going to be tucked in with the toe. So, in your mind, is qualifying that important round here compared to other circuits like your Bahrain?
I'm not really sure. I'm never any good in quali. I seem to do the same lap times with whatever weight or whatever fuel I've got in the car. I don't know how, but I do. I'm never at the back, apart from in the F4s, which I said I can't drive from the get-go, and Stu pushed me into it and said I can't do it. But I think it's just one of those where, depending on how you drive, like some people like being out the front and not having to overtake people, having a nice, I'm going to say easy, but I don't mean it like that. They've not got to try and make the moves and stuff like that, where I don't mind pushing through. I don't mind having people right on my rear bumper. It doesn't really affect me. but then other people are the complete opposite, and someone on their rear bumper makes them panic, and they start making mistakes.
Yes.
So it all depends on the driver. For me, qualifying is not the a massive thing. I don't mind starting mid pack, and if it's as long as I can keep it on the grey stuff, it's all good. I don't know. What are you? Has to be on pole, man, or are you?
I don't have to be on pole, but I like being up near the front. It just allows me to then focus more on who I'm around and how I can move forward in those sort of scenarios, especially in what I do in the Fiesta Juniors 15-minute race. You don't have that time to make up to the other drivers. So, yeah, qualifying for me is quite important. But if it does go wrong, then you have to turn your attention to the race and think to yourself, how can I get through this pack as cleanly and as quickly as possible? So we're now watching the first laps come through. Half the session's already done and they've only just started their first flying lap. This is the length of the circuit. It was interesting, it was Alessandro Catricala was the first one to break the beam as he exits Tetre Rouge and starts flying down the Mulsanne Straight, past all the Xbox sponsorship. Blimey, they're getting a lot of sponsorship. We're now flying past a very large building on the right-hand side and we're keeping it absolutely pinned. I did hit it something interesting actually with this circuit. The middle of the Mulsanne Straight is slightly raised, so if you put your car on that middle line, you have more contact with the surface area of the circuit and could potentially gain a few extra kilometers per hour. So I'm not sure if any drivers will be using that tactic, but I have heard it work. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Nicky Taylor's opted for not a huge toe. He's got Catricala in the near distance, so he's potentially picking up a slight toe. But even if he is, he's not really tending to get into it that quickly. He's in no rush to get a nice toe. Nathan Williams, on the other hand, has given a lovely toe to Albert Henriksen Bell and Gabriel Norse, but doesn't have a toe for himself. So both drivers not having a toe and focusing more on the driving perspectives, which interestingly, Brad, you mentioned you don't really like having people behind. Well, Nathan Williams is in the prime spot to have that.
Yeah. I wonder if are Henriksen, Bell, and Williams in the same team?
They are indeed. All three of these people are in HFT.
Right, okay. I wonder if they've had a little word with each other and said, first lap, I'll give you a toe down the straight. Second lap, you give me one.
Yeah.
Because that's what me and Joel used to do back in the day. Yeah, so it could be just a case of they're giving each other toes down the straight and then see how if they mess their own lap up, it's their own fault. But yeah, it will be interesting to see if Nathan Williams let Alex Henriksen Bell past towards the end of this next straight.
Yeah, certainly will be interesting to see Nathan Williams now flying through Indianapolis using a lot of the curb. Now we're approaching Arnage Corner, exits there, up to third gear, up to fourth gear, under the bridge, now braking, using all of the road on the exit, on fully across the outside curb. Trevor braking into the corner, now accelerating on the exit, avoiding the wall narrowly. You see them having to jink out of the corner. Nicky Taylor now, actually interestingly, sorry, I got it wrong. It's actually Nathan Williams, Henriksen Bell, and Gabriel Norse in front of these this little pack before we then have Catricala and Nicky Taylor. Nicky Taylor is actually picking up quite a nice toe from the Mustang, and he's not too close to be held up through the Porsche curves. Let's go on board with Nicky Taylor, shall we? Let's have a little look just to see what he can do. So we're now approaching the right-hand side of the corner, using all of the road on the exit before bringing it back over to the left, getting right up close to that concrete wall, back through the left. Now we brake. This is probably one of the heaviest braking zones through the Porsche curves, even though it's barely a brake. Fourth gear, keep it hugged to the white line before bringing it back over to the left, using a lot of the inside curve, now avoiding the track limits, which he does beautifully, not running it out too wide across the white line. Now cutting this little kink here, not really a corner, underneath the big Porsche bridge, and now we're approaching the Ford chicanes. Use a little bit of the pit exit to open up the corner. Third gear, cut the two chicane curbs. Now we're going to really cut this one, bounce across it. The Porsche does not like curbs, but through there it was very, very compliant, and we're up to the line, and we go P2. 4 tenths behind Nathan Williams, who one, didn't have a toe, and two, has got 3 kg of ballast. We thought ballast was going to be quite a big factor in this, but interestingly, Brad, it's not too prominent so far.
That's very interesting, because Nicky looked like he had the Porsche curves absolutely spot on. I bet he'd have been chuffed with that until he saw he only put it in P2. Because that's like the most technical part of the track, as we could say. Like the rest is pretty much flat out. So I wonder where Nathan's got the speed advantage. I'd like to look at the telemetry on that and see where he actually gained nearly 5 tenths. because that's quite a big gap.
Now, interestingly, Gabriel Norse does not have a second lap. He has spun on the approach to Tetre Rouge, and Albert Henriksen Bell has lost a huge amount of time to Nathan Williams. Was there a little coming together between the teammates? That's definitely not what you want, but yeah, this is the problem with this circuit, right? It's such a long lap, you just can't afford these mistakes with only 2 push laps. The pressure is certainly on in this 10-minute session.
Yeah, exactly. And it's I've noticed I'm still on board with Nicky, and I think he went wide on a couple of corners. And I don't know whether the server's got track cuts on or if we're policing that afterwards. But I think, oh, I've been told it is after the race. So this lap could be not allowed. He's gone wide on a fair few corners. I might have just dropped him in it.
Sorry to interrupt. Interestingly, he's had a big snap out of that second chicane there. Interestingly as well, what I saw, Nathan Williams running super wide on the exit of Tetre Rouge, all over the curb. It then popped him off and sent him over the white line. Now, our stewards here at Phoenix could be looking at that. Obviously, these are the championship protagonists. And I don't know, they're using everything to their abilities, but are they going slightly over the abilities? Interestingly, Kachikala in the Mustang, the wonderful Mustang, as Nicky Taylor goes in deep into Mulsanne corner. But Kachikala is gaining on this Porsche, and this is fantastic to see. I've wanted this Mustang up there all season. It just hasn't been dialed in like the Porsches. It's really struggled. It's quite a big, beefy car, but this is where it could come back. It's got 21 kg of ballast, so it's got quite a bit of ballast, but it's such a fantastic looking car, and it's got a nice V8 engine to hopefully boost it along the Mulsanne straight. What do you think about that, Brad? Obviously, the Mustang, it is a heavier car, but it's got that nice amount of power and grip to supplement it.
Set you here, I think they're absolute boats. I can't stand them. It's just the yank tank. It is, it's just the yank tank. All noise, no go.
Yeah.
But to be fair, Kachikala's done really well in it. I have been, when I've not been commentating, I have been watching the stream, and he has done really well. Considering he's the only one that was brave enough to pick it, because I instantly, as soon as they said there was a Mustang in it, I was like, "Cool, no one will pick that."
Yeah.
Because they're known for being really heavy, sluggish through corners, but he seems to be flying through the Porsche curves at the minute, and it looks like it's playing ball.
It looks hooked up. Now, what I am going to quickly swap to is Nathan Williams, who comes into the pits. He was down on his lap. No improvement there. He's into the gravel trap, interestingly. He overshot the pit lane, but it's no improvement there. And now most people have actually finished their laps. Gabriel Norse doesn't have another lap. Nicky Taylor's backed off. Kachikala is one of the only ones to come up to the line. He exits the forward chicane. Doesn't quite maximise the track usage. Is there any improvement? Yes, there is. 5/10. And he's actually gone under 2 seconds slower than Nathan Williams. This is probably the most competitive we've ever seen this Mustang, and it's fantastic to see. Is anyone else on a lap? Ethan Hill's crossed the line. He's 2.6 off, no improvement there. Johnny Ogden is the last one. He really maximises the track usage. Fantastic forward chicane there. He improves, but he's still 3.9 seconds off the pace, and no improvement there. So it's Nathan Williams on pole.
Still got Olivia.
P2, yes. Olivia is still on lap. Well done. Slightly missed that. She exits the forward chicane now and is up to the line, and it's 9.3 seconds off. So P8 for Olivia, but she can definitely work her way forward in the race in that lovely 296. So it's Nathan Williams on pole position by 0.4 of a second. That's really nothing, around a 4-minute lap. And he is second in the, first in the championship, sorry. It's Nicky Taylor, second place in the championship. Would you believe it? They are so close together in P2 with Henriksen Bell only a 10th behind in P3. Gabriel Norse rounds out the top 4 with Kachikala in the Mustang in P5, Ethan Hill in P6 in another Porsche, rounded out by Jonathan Ogden and Olivia Krzyżanowska. Fantastic to see all the drivers on such form. We are going to cut to a short ad break, and we will be back very, very shortly to do your qualifying interviews.
How's it going on, guys, and welcome back to Nerd PC Turbo Tech Reviews. Now today is something a little bit different. Normally we do just reviews on a single item, but today we're going to be showing you guys what you can expect from Nerd PC. Nerd PC is a bespoke building company where you can get absolutely any sort of style of gaming PC, office work PC, retail, or even for school work. This PC here demonstrates how small they can be, but yet still pack an absolute powerful punch. So from such a small computer like this, you may be worrying about heat, but these fans inside of here keep it absolutely ice cold as well as quiet. Now listen to this. Nice and quiet. Beautiful. Now we build completely different style of computers. Like I said, from this little one up here, it's all down to you. You get to decide on which case you want to use. You get to decide if you want it all flashy and RGB. You get to decide whether you want it completely plain and black. Remember, we did the hard part of figuring out which components work best for you for your value for money, but you get to decide on how it looks. If you're after something that's in your face, some bright and powerful as this. So this build here is in a Gigabyte C102 glass Arctic ice case with 320mm cooler master fans at the front, 360mm all-in-one cooler at the top. This full white ice build does look insane. And I can assure you, you will not be disappointed. So if you're on the market for a brand new shining gaming computer, or if you want a computer for home use, retail, or office work, it's completely down to you. We just make it happen. So if you haven't done already, go and head over to the website at www.nerdpc.co.uk, have a browse through, see what's on there, or drop us a message directly on Facebook, and we'll do our absolute best to make it happen for you. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. And if you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you did enjoy this video, hit the like for me, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!
Hello everyone, and welcome back after quite an entertaining qualifying session, but an interesting one certainly, with only 2 push laps. One person that got it absolutely nailed in on the window though was Nathan Williams, almost 5/10 clear, almost half a second clear of everyone else. Nathan, how was that qualifying on your end of things, and how was the Porsche faring?
It was quite a good lap. I messed up my second one, but thanks to my first was still enough to take it. And yeah, the Porsche felt alright. It's handling alright. I think it's just lacking the bit of the top end compared to the Mustangs and Ferraris.
Yeah, of course, that Mustang. I mentioned to Brad earlier that that thing is a rocket ship in a straight line. But it'll be interesting to see, obviously, in the race, if it can come through with the tow. Going into this one, obviously, you are the championship leader. All eyes are on you. No pressure. But you've got your championship rival, Nicky Taylor, in second place. Is the plan to just try and conserve this one and bank the points and then go all out in the final race of the season? Or is this the most important one and the most crucial to try and gain any points if you have an accident in race 2?
Well, yeah, I think it's quite important this one to have a good result, sort of in case you have an accident. I think it's going to be a hard one to get in because the slipstream's worth about 1.5 seconds around here, and I don't have a 1.5 second gap, so it's going to be battling the entire way through the race. It's just all about strategy and trying to be the first one to cross the line at the end.
Fantastic. Every driver's dream and goal. Hope for another Bahrain. That was fantastic to commentate on. And finally, obviously, you've got quite a few Porsches around you. But I mentioned the Mustang earlier. If you do find that Mustang gets past you on the Mulsanne, are you potentially going to try and go for a bit of a tow, or are you going to be defensive for those whole 20 minutes?
I think the Mustang is really fast in the first 2 sectors, where it's just straight. So I think being behind it will hold you up a bit too much in the final. So I think it's going to be, if it gets past you, just try and use a slipstream, follow it through the straights, and overtake it the first opportunity you can through some of the more technical parts of the track.
Fantastic. And finally, is there anyone you would like to thank and shout out on the stream whilst you're here?
I'd like to thank my sponsor, PV Williams, as well as DKMS, and then also my family.
Fantastic. Well, I'm sure they'll be very proud of you. Best of luck for this evening. Best of luck to all the drivers. But well done on your pole position. And hopefully we'll be speaking to you again after race 1. And you're not, a little bit angry.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good one. Right, there you have it then. Nathan Williams takes pole position here at Le Mans. But he's got Nicky Taylor right beside him. Brad, what would your nerves be going into this one? Would you be very, very stressed out? Or would you just be full focus on the race, nailing that turn 1 apex?
I don't get nervous, Tom. You don't know me well enough. You don't know me well enough yet. Still always goes, how do you do it? I'm normally, if I'm driving like racing, I've normally got white girl music on, singing my heart out, and everyone's like, I don't know how you do it. I think it's just one of them things where you just lock in, and I don't get nervous at all for the start of a race. I know Joel does. Joel gets really nervous. Even for qualifying, he calls it shaky leg. He really does struggle, which is why I always do qualifying for the endurance races, because he just can't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Looking at different people's driving preferences, and what their specialities are and the weaknesses are. But with 1 minute until we go green here for race 1 of the final round of the Phoenix Sim Racing GT Challenge here at Le Mans, the beautiful Le Mans Circuit de la Sarthe. Nathan Williams, your championship leader, lines up on pole position and looks down to the Dunlop chicane as the first corner. It'll be interesting to see if that Mustang can get a good launch, because he has got the only car in front of him is Nathan Williams. So if Nathan gets a good start, the Mustang can follow him through and have the inside. But we've also got the likes of Nicky Taylor and Albert Henriksen-Bell and Gabriel Norse, a top 4 Porsche lockout. They'll be wanting to stop him. Brad, just before we get going, who is your money on?
Nicky Taylor. And if I was him, I would push Nathan Williams to the left-hand side of the track and hold him there.
I would do the same. That is some fantastic racing advice. If any of you drivers are listening, listen to Brad Smith. He's definitely the one. He is the chosen one. A couple seconds.
Only time to listen to me.
Until we go green here at Le Mans for race 1. The engine's notes are rising. The lights will illuminate very, very quickly. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And finally, the 6th light will illuminate before they go out. And we are racing here at Le Mans. Nicky Taylor with a very good start. Nathan Williams, a slightly better one. Or is it? Because Nicky Taylor leads going into turn 1. And it's Henriksen-Bell and Norse, 3 abreast going into turn 1. This is what Nathan definitely didn't need and is going to have to stay out of trouble. Catracala on the outside in the Mustang. Nathan is pushed wide. He's in the gravel. Can he get it stopped for the chicane? He just about does. He pods, I think that's Albert Henriksen-Bell, straight off the circuit. He cuts the corner and now has a fantastic drive on Nicky Taylor. They've all just about made it through, but it's again the top 4 Porsches all locked out, but it's definitely a different position to what they were. Nicky Taylor leads, Gabriel Norse in P2 after being shoved wide by Nathan Williams, who is now in P3, Henriksen-Bell in P4. But here we go, the infamous toe down the Mulsanne straight. Brad, I'll let you take this away because I think this is going to be very, very entertaining.
This is going to be absolute chaos. Nathan's up the outside of Gabriel Norse already. Let's see if he chops in and gets behind Nicky. Yep, exactly. Perfect timing. Did you see that? Nicky's now weaving to get to break the toe. Henriksen-Bell's give Nathan a bump. This is going to be tight. He's going to do a late lunge. Oh my. Okay. Yep, they made it through.
He's sideways. Nicky Taylor holds on to it, but he's got another 2 straights to try and hold on. Nathan Williams to the inside for the second chicane. Henriksen-Bell follows him through with a bump draft. Here we go. He's trying to use that middle line like I was mentioning earlier, a bit more contact patch. Look at the Mustang. Look how fast it is in the background. Nathan Williams takes the lead. Henriksen-Bell into P2, and Norse is trying to follow them through as well. Izzy, he's slightly too far behind, and just like that, Nicky Taylor down to P3, and now it's a battle for the lead. Henriksen-Bell looking on the back of Nathan Williams. Nicky Taylor in P3. Your championship protagonist is currently 1st and 3rd. Nicky Taylor has to make up ground here for the championship. And we've got, is that Ethan Hill just behind? Yes, it is, with Catracala in P6 in the Mustang using all of that top-end speed. Here we go. Is Henriksen-Bell going to go for the move? No, he's not.
This is what I said in qualifying. They're bump drafting, and it seems like them two are working together.
It certainly does. Are we going to have... Oh, are they? Because Henriksen-Bell went for a bit of a half move there. Potentially not to run into the back. Potentially Ethan Hill goes deep in the background. That Mustang is looking ever ominous. It's Nathan Williams, though, that leads. Henriksen-Bell with a slight mistake there, tightening up the corner for himself. He's dropped back a little bit, but that toe will bring him right back into play. We then have Nicky Taylor, I believe. Yes, it is. Nicky Taylor in P3 with Gabriel Norse just behind him, P4. Ethan Hill feeling the pressure now from the Mustang for 5th and 6th positions, respectively. Is he, Albert Henriksen-Bell, going to go for it? No, he's not. Again, he's going to go for the bump. He's going to go for the bump. Gabriel Norse is rubbing his hands together in P4, thinking, what can I do? What would you do if you were in this situation, Brad?
I would wait for the disaster that's going to happen. Henriksen-Bell keeps bumping Nathan. Oh, and on cue again.
Nicky Taylor. Brad, I'll just let you commentate. You seem to be making all the action happen. Nicky Taylor is bumped wide by his teammate, and his teammate is got to be said, is that a bit of a silly move because he's not in it for the championship and he's taken one of the protagonists very wide into the gravel and they have lost huge amounts of time. Nathan Williams is running away with it a little bit. Henriksen Bell still within the toe, but if he can break 1 second, the toe is then no longer effective. Here we go, into the Porsche curves. It's top 5 for the Porsche and then the Mustang in P6. Nathan Williams leads with Henriksen Bell all over the back of him. He's starting to get a nice gap though, but you can just see that toe, it brings you straight back into play. Nicky Taylor, he's 3 points behind going into this race. He needs to gain positions if he wants any chance of securing a decent result in the reverse grid, but also points for the championship. Here we go, into the Ford chicanes, riding on board with Gabriel North. He's just behind Nicky Taylor as we use all of the track on the exit, and that is 1 lap completed, almost took 5 minutes. That is the length of the lap round here. Look in the background, and the Mustang is all over the back of Ethan Hill. He pulls to the inside for the kink. Is there a move going to happen? He's up the inside. He's firmly up along the inside. He's going to run him wide. There's no contact. This is beautiful, clean racing. Ethan Hill comes off the brakes, goes in slightly deep. Catricala now looking for the cutback. What Catricala has allowed is Ethan Hill out of the toe. So now this Mustang is going to have a wonderful toe down the Mulsanne straight to try and get his 5th position back. We look to the front. Nathan Williams still ever so slightly leading. Henriksen Bell drops off quite a bit now. It's over a second. Has Nathan Williams run away with it? One person that's not out of the toe, though, is Nicky Taylor in P3, looking for P2. Brad, this is so entertaining, and it's only been 5 minutes.
I'm going to talk, and something's going to happen again. I wasn't expecting Gabriel North to knock into the back of Nicky Taylor going into that corner. I was waiting for Henriksen Bell to push Nathan Williams deep into a corner. Yeah. Gabriel Norris is now bump drafting Nicky to catch back up with Henriksen Bell. So it seems they've got their 2 little teams and they're going to push together. And if they keep doing that, Nicky will be soon on the back of Nathan Williams again.
It certainly will be. In the background, the Mustang gets back past the Porsche, but the Porsche pulls back alongside. Potentially that Mustang wanting a bit more of a toe. Nathan Williams still leads, and he's got a lovely gap now to Henriksen Bell. Is Nicky Taylor going to go for P2? Or is he going to wait for the 3rd straight to then secure the move? No, he's not. He's straight to the inside at the second Ford chicane. Is he going to go in deep? He goes in deep just to secure the move. He forces Henriksen Bell wide, uses all of the curb, and the move is complete. He's now up into P2. Will Henriksen Bell go for the bump, or will he go straight back past? Time will tell, because what Henriksen Bell will want to do, if he is smart enough, is to bump Nicky Taylor and get him within the toe of Nathan Williams to not let the leader get away. But we're all racing drivers here, and we all want the move straight back. So here we go into Mulsanne corner, and Henriksen Bell does not wait. Yeah, he does wait. That was because Nicky Taylor put a very big squeeze on him and said, "No, you don't. I am the championship fighter. You are not. You can stay there, my friend." In the background is the battle. The battle is still raging on between Olivia. It's Johnny Ogden and Catricala. Johnny Ogden up the inside of the Mustang. They're now side by side going down the 3rd of the Mulsanne straights. Is he going to get the move complete, or is the Mustang going to pull back past? The Mustang using all of its straight line speed. They're fully alongside. Johnny Ogden with a nice toe from the Porsche. That Mustang is so fast though, but he's on the outside for Indianapolis. Johnny Ogden thinks better of it and allows the Mustang back through into P6. They will now try and push forward and get on the back of Ethan Hill once more to make it a 3-way fight for P5.
That was past Nicky.
He is. He's back past Nicky Taylor. Sorry, carry on.
But while they're fighting, Nathan Williams is just running away with it. He's now nearly 3 seconds clear.
Yeah.
So I think if Nicky and Gabriel have teamed up, oh no, Nicky's now bumping Henriksen Bell. I think he's just going to push Henriksen Bell into the back of Nathan Williams again, because Nathan's just going to keep attacking. Henriksen Bell is just going to keep attacking.
Yeah.
And when you're defending, you're not catching up with Nathan, as Gabriel North loses the rear end straight into the wall. So that's Nicky Taylor's. Yeah.
I think that's over for Gabriel North. It's maybe not over. He can continue, but it's whether or not he's lost too much damage or lost too much time. He's definitely out of the top 3 fight. That is for sure. Here we go. Henriksen Bell and Nicky Taylor. Are they going to work together? Henriksen Bell slightly messed up the 4 chicanes there. Goes in a little deep. Will Nicky Taylor go for the bump? I think yes, he will. He is now firmly pushing. The gap is 3 seconds. It'll be interesting to see at the end of this lap if the gap comes down or not, or if Henriksen Bell doesn't quite have the pace through the corners, that they're still going to lose to Nathan Williams. Here we go. Oh, Nicky Taylor getting very, very sideways there. Very, very squirrely. Into the Dunlop chicane. Here we go. First two corners navigated successfully by Henriksen Bell and Nicky Taylor respectively. We'll see the Sector 1 times. Nathan Williams almost 8 tenths quicker in Sector 1 that last lap. So, yeah, he's flying, and he's definitely found something at Le Mans that is working for him. Almost 5 tenths quicker in qualifying in this championship. It may not seem like a lot, but that is a huge, huge margin. We look back to the battle for P4. Ethan Hill exits Tetre Rouge. Catricala, I think, has had an incident. He's dropped back quite a bit. And Johnny Egdon is tagged by Gabriel Norse. They are sent very, very hard into the wall. Very, very hard indeed. Johnny Ogden, it must be said, I think is out of the race. That Ferrari has been absolutely destroyed and mullered. Same with Gabriel Norse. Gabriel Norse's car has also been very much destroyed. So they're definitely out of it. Gabriel Norse potentially wanting to get back past. Nicky Taylor is working with Albert Henriksen Bell here. So he definitely wants the P1, but it depends if the gap doesn't come down too much. It does look smaller, doesn't it? It certainly looks smaller, but Nathan Williams, 1 tenth down on his best. Albert Henriksen Bell, 4 tenths up. Here we go. This is it. This is when the battle really starts. It's interesting. It's not much excitement with the overtaking or whatnot, but it's so fascinating to see the working together. Nicky Taylor still firm within the toe, gaining. On the likes of Nathan Williams. He's so deep into the corner, and he's
that'll be the toe broken.
Yeah.
Now he's got it all over again to do.
Yeah, and these are the mistakes that you can't quite afford in the championship hunt, right? What was that? What was that view? Was that just a slight lapse of concentration, or slightly too aggressive?
I think he just missed his braking point by the looks of it. I don't know whether he was just too close to it, Henriksen Bell, and didn't see his marker, or what, or if he was just pushing too hard. It was a weird mistake that we all do, and you can never say what you actually caused it. It was a kind of a weird one, because there's the boards are high up on that into that chicane, so he can't have missed his braking point. It must have just been a lapse of concentration. And it's cost him dearly. He's now a full second off Henriksen Bell, and he's going to have to try and catch up back through the Porsche curves ready for the next lap as he gets massively sideways. But close, isn't it? Somehow managed to close the gap up.
That was close to disaster. Nicky Taylor doing Nicky Taylor things, putting cars in places that we can never understand. Ethan Hill dropped back ever so slightly after that incident. Catricala still pushing on Johnny Ogden with a huge amount of damage. Gabriel Norse just approaching Arnage with Olivia, doing well, just gone through Indianapolis. So Nathan Williams sets a purple sector 2. He is not letting up one tiny bit. Albert Henriksen Bell, 5 tenths off in that sector alone. So Nathan Williams has found something in this car that no one else has, and he is absolutely flying, isn't he?
He is. I just hope he isn't going to cook his tyres, because we know the Porsche struggles towards the end of the race. And on the last lap, coming through them Porsche curves with completely cooked tyres, he's going to have to be really, really careful, because it's so easy to lose the back end like Gabriel Norse did and put yourself into a wall, and you've lost 10-15 seconds before you're back on track. So if Nicky can just keep plodding on, keep him within arm's reach, he's still got a chance if Nathan cooks his tyres. I think
they certainly do.
As he makes the move on Henriksen Bell.
He's straight back past. He does not want to wait anymore. He's into P2. Again, the car getting very, very squirrely. Maybe he's running a bit more of an aggressive setup, a bit more low downforce for the Mulsanne straight. It'll be interesting to see here if Henriksen Bell works with him or if he goes straight back past. I think it's a little bit too late, to be fair, for working together. I think they're a little bit too far back. The damage has been done early as he loses the rear end of the car and backs it into the wall. Another mistake. Quite a few mistakes creeping in this race. That's promoted Ethan Hill to a podium in P3. I bet he can't believe his eyes, what he's seeing.
I'm just going to stop talking, because every time I mention something, it happens to someone.
Oh, you and Joel, honestly, what are we going to do with you? Nicky Taylor into P2. Nathan Williams leading the race very dominantly so far. I don't want to say anything, though. I do not want to jinx it. He's driven such a good race so far. And just seems to be getting quicker as the race goes on. Nicky Taylor in P2, potentially he's still going to be pushing on, but maybe not taking certain risks that he would earlier on in the race. Thinking a bit smarter, not wanting to mess anything up, of course. A P2 is still a P2, and who knows what will happen in the reverse grid. Anything can happen. Mistakes can certainly creep in.
They certainly can. It will be interesting now. Nicky's not got a defend from Henriksen Bell. He's got clean air to see if he can actually catch up with Nathan. He's had a few easy laps. I say easy. It wasn't easy at all, but easier. He's not been able to push as much as he probably wanted to. So maybe his tyres are a bit better off. Maybe he's now able to actually lock in and not worry about anyone around him and start putting some times in, as the time is coming down ever so slightly.
Yeah.
So it could be interesting towards the end of the race if one tiny little mistake from Nathan Williams and Nicky's going to be there.
He certainly is. Nathan Williams with a 97.2 as his sector 1. Nicky Taylor on a 97.9. So 7/10 lost in sector 1. But I think he is running that slightly lower downforce setup. So this is where sector 2, this is where he's going to come into his own. The car is looking very, very squirrely, which suggests he's running lower downforce and lower wing, compared to Nathan Williams, which seems super hooked up in the corners, but is potentially slightly down on power on the straights. Nathan Williams now approaches Arnage using all of the road on the exit, cutting back to the apex, trail braking in nicely, getting the drive out that he needs. Now they're approaching the end of sector 2, so it'll be interesting to see when the time's coming. You see Nicky Taylor lighten up the rear wheels there, getting very, very sideways. And Ethan Hill, interestingly, closing the gap ever so slightly to Nicky Taylor. It's not going to be enough unless there's a mistake that creeps in, but it's just really interesting to see. I definitely think that gap is coming down between the top two, for sure. Nathan Williams bangs in a 91.2 as his sector 2, and Nicky Taylor on 91.6, so actually the gap's slightly extending, and you can see through here, the car is super, super squirrely. Ethan Hill went a 10th quicker in sector 2 compared to Nicky Taylor, so that's a fantastic time from him, and he's really pushing on now, potentially in hopes of getting a P2 if there's any mistakes that creep in. Never rest until the last. But yeah, Nathan Williams is driving a really good race, isn't he?
He is, yeah. It's pretty pinpoint, to be fair. It'll be interesting to see. I've not been watching him. I've been mainly watching Nicky and the other drivers. And I like to keep an eye on track cuts. I'm quite a... can't think of the word. I always keep an eye out for it. And I've noticed Nicky go a little bit wide on a couple of corners. So he will be on the limit of it, but I haven't been watching Nathan. So this lap, I'm going to watch him and see what he's doing and if he is running wide on any corners, see where he might be struggling.
Yeah. Interestingly,
because that can literally change the whole championship.
It certainly can. This is why the provisional results are only after the races, right? You know, you got a whole stewarding process to come afterwards. Yep. Nicky Taylor went 8/10 quicker in sector 3. So me saying he's running a lower downforce, I think he's running a higher downforce. Because he's losing in the first two sectors, but his sector 3 was absolutely on the money. 8/10 quicker than Nathan Williams. A fantastic sector there from himself, and he's really putting in the hard work. Really pushing on. So it'll be interesting to see if he can get anything out of this race. Obviously, there's no points for fastest lap, but he will still be pushing on for pride and integrity nonetheless. The one thing that we haven't mentioned is if it stays like it is, Nicky Taylor's going to be starting ahead of Nathan Williams in race 2 with less ballast. So if he can eliminate the few mistakes that he's been having, he could have a real big advantage. And we know the reverse grids always kick off. And it being the last race of the season, I definitely think there's going to be some incidents. You've seen a few spins here. That is nothing compared to what is about to happen in race 2. We've got 2 laps left of this race. Let's run through the order quickly. Nathan Williams, as we allude to, leads the race by over 5 seconds. It's Ethan Hill in P3, with Henriksen Bell in P4. Catch Color in the Mustang doing a good job in P5. Gabriel Norse, after a few incidents, is clawing his way back nicely in P6. Olivia in the Ferrari, slightly struggling, being involved in a few incidents, but running P7 very nicely. And Johnny Ogden, after having a monumental shunt in sector, it was 1, wasn't it, when he got taken out by Gabriel Norse. He is on the comeback to try and claw back any positions that he can. Looking at the sector 1 times, Nathan Williams bangs in a 97.4 with Nicky Taylor on 98.3, so 9/10 extends the gap. And Ethan Hill on a 97.9, so only 5/10 off the leader, but 4/10 quicker than P2, crucially. So the gap is coming down. Do you think?
Yeah, I think. Don't make me do this. I feel like this end of this race, everyone's just going to settle down, be happy with their positions, and then the second race, I have a feeling it's going to be absolute carnage because it's going to be all guns blazing. It's the decider, and you're a racer, Tom. You know what it's like. You want that win, so everyone's going to be gunning for it. As
Indeed.
I just noticed, Johnny Ogden's in the pits. Have you already mentioned that?
No, I haven't. He obviously sustained a lot of damage earlier on in the race and potentially another little incident there. Or just feeling like he's retiring the car and then, you know, locking him for race 2. The one thing that won't do, though, that won't put him on pole for race 2. So if he'd stayed out, he would have been on pole. But yeah, it is what it is. He will push on. Nathan Williams now coming through to eventually start the final lap of the race. The gap is extending, not in sector 2. Because Nicky Taylor did a 91.3 along with Ethan Hill, which were both a 10th quicker than Nathan Williams in the lead. But Nathan doesn't need to exactly push like his life depends on it, because he's got a nice little gap that he's already built up. Comes across the line, bangs in a 44.5 as his sector 3 time, and crucially starts the final lap.
Ethan Hill's made a mistake in the Porsche curves. He's dropped down to P5.
And he's got Katra Carlett, who he is now hunting down, who stops it at the 4 chicanes to not let any gap back through. Albert Henriksen Bell can't believe his luck. He's back into P3. I think Nicky Taylor's also made a mistake. He's on a 51.6 in sector 3. And Albert Henriksen Bell on a 44.4. So potentially Ethan Hill and Nicky Taylor came together. Or if they didn't, Nicky potentially made a mistake and Ethan Hill was an innocent bystander in it all. So this is now Nicky Taylor in P2. Henriksen Bell within a second, may I add. He's within the toe. Now it'll be interesting to see if he goes for a move or if he thinks, you know, I'll let him cool down for the championship. I'll let him have this one. Katra Carlett in P4 though, and he's got 2 very angry Porsches beneath him. He's got Ethan Hill in P5 and he's got Gabriel Norse in P6. They are very much within the toe of himself, so we've got a nice little trio battle going on currently. Now, Henriksen Bell.
Did Nicky make a mistake?
No, but that's just the toe coming into effect. Here we go. Henriksen Bell. Nicky Taylor goes defensive. He's very much within the toe. He's going to pull to the outside. I think he's a little bit too far back this time. But remember, there's 2 more straights to come. Oh, Henriksen Bell very deep onto the brakes, almost into the back of Nicky Taylor. But here we go. Oh, he's got a little bit squirrely on the exit of that chicane. We're now back within the toe. We'll go back to the little trio. Nathan Williams has checked it out. Sorry, we're not giving much coverage to him, but he is gone. Katra Carlett with nice little power down the straights at the moment. It's Gabriel Norse on the back of Ethan Hill. Katra Carlett trying to break the toe, but we've got 2 Porsches absolutely glued together. Let's cut our attention quickly back to the P2. Henriksen Bell all over the back of Nicky Taylor. He's looking for a little half move there. He thought about it. Gabriel Norse to the inside of Ethan Hill. He breaks late. He gets the move complete. He's gone in deep. This is allowing Katra Carlett to get a nice little gap as these Porsches go side by side, really lighting up the rear tyres there with Gabriel Norse, squeezing Ethan Hill to the inside. And we've got a lovely battle going on here. It's Gabriel Norse with a purple sector 1. That just goes to show how much the toe is prominent. I think Henriksen Bell could be a lot closer here, but he's backing off because of the toe. Or not. He's looking for a move, for sure. Nicky Taylor feeling the need to go defensive, so he's tightened up that corner there. Henriksen Bell's got the line for that corner. Oh, there's a bit of a hit in the back there. That was Ethan Hill. No, it was Gabriel Norse, sorry, getting shoved out of the way by Ethan Hill. So, yeah, all guns out. Here we go. Henriksen Bell to the outside of Nicky Taylor. This is crucial. Nicky Taylor, P2 in the championship, only 3 points behind. Every point matters as we're in the last round, race 1 of the season. We've still got another reverse grid race to go. Henriksen Bell squeezes Nicky Taylor to the inside. Is he going to be brave and go around the outside? Yes, he is, and he sustains P2 round the outside of Indianapolis. That was a fantastic move and gets it stopped lovely. Nicky Taylor will not be loving this because he's still got 1 more straight to try and fight back. That is the 1 bonus. Katra Carlett still looking good in P4. Here we go. Nicky Taylor, good drive out. Oh, he's almost in the wall. Doesn't quite hit the wall. Henriksen Bell needs to go defensive now. I'm surprised Henriksen Bell went for it, interestingly, as they are within a championship fight and he's getting involved here. Remember, we've still got so many corners in the Porsche curves and the Ford chicanes to come. Here we go, Nicky Taylor, well within the toe. He's going to force Nicky out. Oh, big contact there down the straight. Not
This
sure
is
which
Nicky's
way
strongest
Henriksen-
sector as well.
Yeah, Henriksen
Nicky
Belch was going to go there. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, I was going to say this is Nicky's strongest sector, so it'll be interesting to see if he can make a move going into the chicane just before the end of the lap, which he seems close enough to be able to have a little lunge up the inside.
Yeah, he used one of his track limits there for sure. He was beyond the white line. Here we go. He's gaining on Henriksen Bell. Nathan Williams pops in a fastest lap on the final lap because why not? He wins the race of race 1 here at Le Mans. For the final round of the Phoenix Sim Racing GT Challenge. Nicky Taylor's going to have a better run to the line. Henriksen Bell's going to cover him off. We're going to be side by side to the line. It's going to be Henriksen Bell that holds on and takes P2. Nicky Taylor put his absolute everything on the line there. Goes purple in Sector 3. It's Kachakala, the Mustang, that takes P4 with the extra straight line speed coming into play. Ethan Hill takes P5 with Gabriel Norse in P6. Olivia returning back in P7 and Johnny Ogden in the pits with too much damage to sustain. Wow, what an opener here. Nathan Williams extends his lead, but he's going to be quite far back behind Nicky Taylor in the reverse grid race, so it'll be interesting to see how it finds out. We will catch up with the top 3 after this short ad break and then go straight into the action of race 2. Hello everyone and welcome back after such an entertaining race 1 here at Le Mans. We're going to be joined by the top 3, which were definitely put through their paces. First of all with Nicky Taylor. Nicky, how was that race on your end of things? Not so smooth sailing, but you've got a nice advantage in this reverse grid one.
Yeah, well, if it was any other track, kind of the reverse grid might be a bit more useful. And if there was, say, like 15 or so cars, I'd be feeling a lot more inclined that the championship is still on. But yeah, I think the championship's pretty much done now anyway, because Nathan and me seem to be, or me, Nathan, and Albert really seem to be the quickest 3 here by some distance. So I think it's pretty much going to be a similar sort of story with how tight the grid is actually on the grid here at Le Mans. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to overcome Nathan unless he does a me and spins it and some miraculous thing happens. But yeah, it's just going to be how it goes.
For sure. Obviously going into this reverse grid one, the final race of the season, are you going all out for it? Do you want the win?
I mean, I'll go as far out as I have been doing all season. I'll push the limits, but at the end of the day, because of certain people dropping out of the championship, I've managed to gain some points on my Monza round, which is still my drop round at the minute. So regardless of whatever happens, I've still got a safety net of a drop round to go back on. But yeah, I'll just go all out because I basically need to win to give myself any hope of re-salvaging a championship.
Fantastic. Well, I wish you all the best of luck. Have a good final race. And I hope you have an entertaining one. Have a good one.
Thank you. Cheers.
No problem. Right, now we're going to be joined by your second place man, Albert Henriksen Bell. Albert, how was that race on your end of things? You've definitely put through your paces there on the final lap.
Interesting, yeah. Well, having my spit, well, the start was quite interesting. Just kind of tried to run away with Nathan as much as I could, just because I wanted to build a nice big gap away from Gabriel in case of any possible leaps he could make in the championship. And then just worked with Nathan for a little bit, and then he decided he wanted to run off, which was just unfair of him. And then spin mid-race kind of set me back a little bit, but I knew I had the pace just to keep on going. I was thinking, might be able to catch Ethan here, we'll see. And then stuff happened, and I got on the back of Nicky.
For sure. Now, going into this reverse grid one, obviously you're ahead of Nathan, but behind Nicky. Are you just going to be working with them to try and get through the pack and then have a nice battle for the rest of the race?
I would say so, yeah. I think the opening first kind of half of the lap is just going to be survival. Because the slipstream here is so strong. It would be interesting to see what happens with the cars in front providing us the slipstream. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, I wish you all the best of luck. Have a good one and enjoy the final round of the season.
Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, your race winner, a fantastic drive by Nathan Williams. Super dominant, won by 16 seconds. Nathan's quite a chilled out race for yourself, I can imagine.
Yeah, it was quite a good race. I think there's a few moments, like at the start, where I think I got very close to spinning. And then I think after that, I got a bit lucky with Albert sort of giving me the bump draft, allowed me to get past Nicky. And then I think I built a bit of a gap. And then it was just sort of hoping that the pack behind decided to battle rather than work together, which happened. And then it allowed me to pull away. And then it was quite calm, except the very final corner, which I nearly spun at, trying to avoid the sausage curb.
Oh, very funny. All the antics of Le Mans circuit. Now going into this final race, obviously I have to be smart getting your way through the pack, because obviously you're a championship protagonist along with Nicky, but you're still going to be quite aggressive, not wanting to allow anyone through and to try and get a good position, the best position that you can.
Well, yeah, I think the goal is to just try and stick with Nicky. I've got a bit of a points gap now. I think it's probably around 6 to 9 points-ish around that territory. So I think if I just stick behind him, then he hopefully can't gain too many, especially with I'm sort of gelling with the car and there were people having a few spins, whereas I was sort of able to keep it on track. So hopefully it goes my way.
Definitely. Well, your consistency was definitely there in that final race. Finally, the final question I wanted to ask: are you enjoying Le Mans circuit?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's a really great track to drive around, and I think, yeah, it's a great track, and I'm got the pace around it, which is always an extra bonus.
Fantastic. Well, I wish you all the best of luck, and hopefully you'll be victorious at the end of it. But yeah, no, have a good race and stay out of trouble.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it. Your top three from race 1 here at Le Mans. Approaching the reverse grid of race 2 and the final race of the championships. Kind of crazy to be saying that. Feels like it has whizzed by the past 8 weeks. Brad, I'm going to ask you one last time. Unfortunately, Joel's not here. But who is your money on? Final round, final time.
After the results in the first race, I've got a feeling Nathan's going to come through the back and have a clear win.
Okay, there you have it. Brad has spoken.
Yep, it's going to go horribly. It's going to go horribly wrong for him now, isn't it?
Here we go. We should probably go through the grid order. It's Olivia that starts on pole for the final race of the season. Quite fortunate, obviously, getting involved in a few incidents in the last race, which has put her on pole position. She will be loving life up in front with Gabriel Norse in P2. Now, we know Gabriel had some really good pace, and he is ahead of a lot of protagonists. But Ethan Hill also had good pace, and is starting right behind in P3. The infamous Mustang of Alessandro Catracala in P4. After a good result in the first race, it must be said, staying out of trouble and avoiding incidents. Nicky Taylor starts in P5, quite a few positions ahead of Nathan Williams. It's then Albert Henriksen Bell in P6. Nathan Williams in P7, your race 1 winner, with Johnny Ogden unfortunately returning to the pits at the end of the race. It starts in P8. Here we go then. Final time of the lights illuminating and the engine notes rising. Around the beautiful Circuit de la Sarthe of Le Mans, in the town of Le Mans. Here we go. The lights will illuminate, and now we go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the final 6th light of the season. The revs rise, the lights go out, and we are racing. Olivia with quite a bad start, quite a bit of wheel spin actually, allows all the Porsches and the Mustangs to rise back past. Catricolo with a fantastic start. Gabriel Norse in P2. Ethan Hill on the outside. Alessandro Catricolo in P2. He's going to be dive bombed though by Ethan Hill. Ethan Hill goes in so deep, and there's a Porsche bouncing across, hits Catricolo out the way a little bit, which then in turn forces him to bounce into someone else. In the background, it looks like they've all made their way through safely, just about, but it is Gabriel Norse that leads from Ethan Hill. It's then Nicky Taylor in P3 with Nathan Williams in P4. It's then Catricolo in the Mustang, Henriksen Bell, sorry, in the Porsche, followed by Catricolo in the Mustang, Johnny Ogden, and then Olivia in P8. Here we go, the first time of the Mulsanne. This is when they are all so close together. It's going to be Ethan Hill that's gaining on Gabriel Norse. This has got to be an ominous sight for Gabriel. How would you be playing this, Brad?
You've just got to go full attack at this point. Last race, he got tapped on the rear, sent off the track. It's going to be a case of he just needs to just go full out attack and try and get a little gap if he can. If not, just do the best he can and see what he can get out of it.
Indeed. Your two championship protagonists, though, going side by side through the chicane. Nicky Taylor just about holding on in P3, but it's the two leaders that we're going to have to keep an eye on. It's Ethan Hill going to the inside of Gabriel Norse. He's on the inside. He's half a car length to now a full car length in front. Nicky Taylor feeling the need to break the toe off of Nathan Williams, go defensive. Nathan on the outside. The two leaders are as one, potentially going to work away to try and get a little bit of a gap. We look in the background now, Nicky Taylor on the inside, podding out of the way Nathan Williams. Nathan Williams forced him to cut the chicane. Nicky Taylor won't be happy about that, and now he is straight back on the attack. Henriksen Bell following in close pursuit, followed by Catricolo.
It's interesting that neither of these. I was just about to say they're not bump drafting each other, and Nicky goes and does it. I'm surprised he's bump drafting him. I really am. I'd expect to either just pull out the toe or just back off the throttle a little bit, just to sit behind him and probably just follow him round. But he's managed to dive up the inside and get the move done. It'll be interesting to see now if Nicky can push on and catch up with Gabriel and Ethan and try and make a move to get into P1.
Indeed, although he's not defending into Indianapolis, this allows Nathan Williams the inside, and now he's going to be hung out to dry. This is not what Nicky Taylor wanted, or is it? He could be trying to work with him. Although he's straight back down the inside, they are having a monumental battle. This is allowing Henriksen Bell now onto the back of them as well. Nathan Williams forced to go tight. Nicky Taylor having a drive on them, having a very nice drive on them. As we go up to Arnage, it's Gabriel Norse and Ethan Hill that are fighting insanely hard. Gabriel just on the back of Ethan Hill now. And he's going to have a nice toe all the way to the Porsche curves. Is he going to go for it into the Porsche curves to then have a nice advantage and have no dirty air to try and pull away in sectors 1 and 2 if he can, to try and break the toe? Or is he going to go for the bump? He's going to go for the bump. He's going for the bump, interestingly. Or is he? Because he cuts back to the inside, goes up the inside of Ethan Hill. Is there any contact made? He's very sideways. Ethan Hill gives him the room just about and holds onto the lead. But what this has allowed is for Nicky and Nathan Williams, respectively, to close right up onto the back. That's Nathan Williams now in P3. Nicky Taylor just behind in P4 with Henriksen Bell and Catricolo in hot pursuit. Wow, Gabriel Norse, Ethan Hill very wide there. Not what he would have wanted, but Gabriel now, is he going to go for it into the four chicanes? He's thinking about it, he is going for it. Ethan cuts him off. We're forced to go a little bit wide as we went so deep onto the brakes. Although Ethan Hill has missed the final chicane apex, Nathan's got a drive, but he's forced to hit the back of Gabriel Norse. He had nowhere to go there, and this is so fantastic, and it's the final race of the season. Brad, would you just be loving life right now, or would you be a little bit stressed if you were Nathan, trying to not get taken out?
Oh, I was thinking if I was Nicky, I bet he is rubbing his hands together thinking, any moment now, these lot are going to have a big crash. Because it's going to happen. I'm going to put it out there. They're going to get tangled up. As Henriksen Bell now joins the party. So it could now be Nicky, Nathan and Henriksen Bell that have a crash. It's hard when you're not in the car to try and think how they're feeling. Yeah. But yeah, I can imagine he's probably a bit deflated after the first race. And he's now just hoping, as horrible as it sounds, something happens to Nathan during this race, which puts him to the back. because that's Nicky's only chance now, really.
Well, Gabriel Norse has gone for the bump in the lead. They are going to try and work away from the pack behind, although I don't think Nathan and Nicky... You see there, Ethan Hill feeling the need to go defensive. It's going to be Gabriel Norse to the outside. They're going to go side by side. No, Gabriel Norse thinks better of it. He wants to work together. Ethan Hill wants to race. It'd be interesting to see now if Gabriel thinks to himself, oh, you know what? I will go for the move instead. We go on board with Nathan Williams. He's slightly far back, but he is within the toe. So this could be a three-way fight, which will then allow Nicky and Albert Hamilton Bell and Patrick Carter right up onto the back, and Johnny Ogden staying with them, interestingly, as well. So he's doing really good. He's got acclimatized with that nicely. Purple sector 2 for him on the last lap. Now, we look. It's side by side. Gabriel Norse down the inside of Ethan Hill. Makes the move complete, although there's 2 more straights with a toe. Oh, as Ethan Hill goes very, very sideways. Nathan Williams up into P2. Nicky Taylor's thinking, oh no. But he's still well within the toe, and it's still 14 minutes of pure action here to come. Brad, if you were Nicky now, would you be hoping that Hamilton Bell works with you and you're just pushing all the way, or would you try and bump Ethan and get with Nathan?
And I would be hoping Henriksen bumps me down these straights, because Nicky's setup's absolutely killing him down them straights. He's losing so much time. I don't know if he said it was in the chicanes that he was losing time, or if it was the actual setup causing him to lose time down the straights. But as soon as he lost the toe, he seemed to drop off by over, like, it was nearly a second. He couldn't keep up with them. So he needs someone to bump him down them straights to keep him up with the rest of the pack. And then through that final sector where we know he's quicker than everyone else, be able to make the moves like he's doing now.
Yeah, straight down the inside of Ethan Hill. Nicky Taylor is up into P3. Here we go, he's right behind his championship rival now, Nathan Williams. He needs to get past him and hope that Nathan can't make any more progress and that he can get the lead of the race from Gabriel Norse. Side by side in the background, Ethan Hill feeling the need to go defensive on Henriksen Bell. The Mustang slightly dropping off, so it is a Porsche 5 for the lead. It's Gabriel Norse that leads. He's got quite a nice gap, but Nathan Williams is well within the toe and he'll be pushing back onto him. This is where Nicky Taylor's cars comes alive. He's got no one around him. He's going to be solely focused on that car in front of him of Nathan Williams. We go into sector 3 now. This is where it's quick. In the background, side-by-side action between Ethan Hill and Henriksen Bell. Great, clean, respectful racing there. Ethan Hill just holds on. Nicky Taylor, you have got to get this absolutely perfect to get back within the toe. You can see the amount of speed he carries compared to Nathan Williams and Gabriel Norse respectively, using all of the curve on the exit, or slightly too much there, but he's really maximising all of his setup and the higher downforce stuff. Is he within one toe? This is what we need to find out as we approach the 4 chicanes. He uses all of the curb available to him and more. Fully over the sausage curb in the second part of it, past the start-finish line, and we're going to see Nicky Taylor. He goes purple. He goes a 10th quicker than Nathan Williams, and he is only 8 tenths behind. So he is within the toe. Slightly off on that lap, but we have to remember that he was battling Nathan Williams, looking down the inside of Gabriel Norse now. Nicky Taylor will be hoping that Gabriel defends as he gets very, very crossed up on the exit, and now Nicky is straight with Nathan, isn't he?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Nicky can keep up if he stays in the toe down this straight and through the chicanes, because he said that's where he was struggling. I don't know if that is due to setup or he's just struggling with the chicanes. And it'll be, yeah, it's going to be, I think it's going to be a case of Nicky's just got to try and keep with them, and at the last lap, last sector, try and make a move. Otherwise, it'll be game over.
Yeah, as you're mentioning that, Nathan Williams goes for the lead. He pulls to the outside of Gabriel Norse, and he gets the lead though. Gabriel well within the toe, and the battle is on. He goes straight back to the inside. Nicky Taylor will be loving life right now. Side by side going into the first Le Mans chicane, sorry. It's Nathan Williams on the outside, Gabriel Norse on the other side, and they are using all of the road on the exit here. The battle is well won now. Ethan Hill and Henriksen Bell just about clinging on. Is the little tangle that you were mentioning earlier, is this about to come between the top 2? Nathan Williams holds on, but he has got Gabriel Norse filling the whole of his mirror and more. Will he go for a move here? Nathan Williams, you see him just pulling away slightly. And it's Ethan Hill that's is it Ethan Hill bump drafting? Yes, he is. He's bump drafting Nicky Taylor. You see them.
I know it's Nicky.
Yeah, you see Nicky settle.
That's the only problem with bump drafting. You get bump draft just before a corner.
Yeah.
Your whole braking markers have gone. You're pretty much in a guessing game, because gain so much speed from a bump draft, you don't know where to brake. It's a bit of a, it works and it doesn't work. That was a perfect example. Like the lap before, it worked perfectly. That lap, it was the wrong time to bump draft.
Yeah. Ethan Hill to the inside of Nicky Taylor now doesn't quite make it work. Very, very crossed up on the exit. Gabriel Norse needs to go for a move on Nathan here to keep the fight alive for the for the trio behind. Is Gabriel going to go for it here? He's well within the toe. He is gaining. He is gaining. He is gaining. You look as he gains. He goes to the inside of Nathan Williams. They're now going to be side by side going into Indianapolis. This is what we love about the final race of the season. It always kicks off. Nathan Williams on the outside. Is he going to try and go around the outside? Yes, he is. They're side by side. Is there going to be a tangle, or are they going to be nice and respectful? They're going to be nice and respectful. And Nathan Williams somehow on the outside holds on. Fantastic driving here. Gabriel Norse once again pulling to the outside. And this has allowed Nicky Taylor right back onto them. And now this is his favourable Sector 3. Do you want to talk around Sector 3, Brad, of Nicky Taylor and what he's about to do? Because there's a potential moving gun.
Well, through that second sector, then Nathan and Gabriel were battling. And Nicky didn't really make up any time until that last on the exit of Indianapolis. Yeah. So it's interesting, and I know I'm probably going to get this wrong. It's Jordan that does the setups for him. So I wonder if, because I remember last time Nicky said they make their own little tweaks to it. I wonder if Nicky's gone the opposite way to what everyone else has gone, tweaking it downforce wise, which is really affecting him on first sector and second sector. But this third sector, he's gone wide, but. He's absolutely flying. Like no one can touch him. It's a bit bizarre, really, why you would do a more high downforce setup for a track like Le Mans that has got these 3 massive straights. As he's gone massively wide, it's cost him so much time. Now he's going to really struggle going down the straights because Ethan Hill's not close enough, I don't think, to start bumping him. And he's not in the toe from Nathan. Oh, as Nathan gets Nathan's lost it. He's in the gravel.
Oh no!
Now Nicky is going to be very happy, and he's going to think he's got a chance here. This will be now very interesting because Nathan's dropped down to P6, and he's around 7 seconds behind the leader.
Yeah.
So it'll be very, very interesting.
Nicky has got, because to be fair, they are not too far off on lap time compared to Nathan with this toe. The Mustang is so far ahead of Nathan. Nathan's got so much to catch up, and then he's got to get past every single person. And there's only 7 minutes remaining. What the heck has just happened? I'm lost.
Yeah, sorry, I got that wrong. Nathan's was 7 seconds off Catricala.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Nathan's got a lot of time to make up to be able to. That could have just cost him the championship.
Yeah.
As Nick makes the move.
Yeah.
He had a lovely little bump there from Ethan, which I think on the next straight, Nicky's going to get past Gabriel, and then that will more than likely be the race done. That'll be.
Yeah. So I think Ethan will then go back past as well, and then they will bump to the end.
Yeah, they will bump to the end.
Nicky Taylor, he's gaining.
Oh, he's bumping.
Outside going into the chicane. No, he's not. He stays within the toe. Is he going to go to the inside though? Going into it, he flashes his lights. He tries and puts him off the breaker marker. He goes to the inside. They get heavy onto the brakes. Gabriel is so late on the brakes. Misses the apex, but gets it stopped though. That was lovely defensive driving, and now Nicky has still got 2 more straights. And Ethan Hill will, I can imagine, will be going for the bump on Nicky to try and get him through, and then they can secure the top 2 lockout. But what would you be? Would you be very nervous if you were Nicky Taylor right now when you see people getting close in the mirrors?
No, I'd be singing some sort of girl song myself.
He pulls to the inside, though.
It was very interesting because Nicky actually bumped Gabriel.
Yeah.
And then he got a bump off Ethan, which then pushed him up the inside. So I don't know if Nicky's thinking, let's get a group of us pushing on to try and get the biggest gap to Nathan.
Sorry to interrupt there. Nathan Williams goes really deep Mustang corner and is into the gravel once more, so he's just losing time. And there's been 2 minutes already as ticked down. Nicky Taylor on the inside. Whoa, he gives a little bit of a bump to Gabriel Norse, but he's a whole car ahead now. This is what he's thinking about going to the inside. He goes up the inside. That's such a late move from Gabriel, but he makes it stick. And that was a nice little move there.
Yeah, that was a lovely
not
move.
something Nicky would have liked.
No, I can imagine Nicky is screaming, saying, "Just let me go," because Gabriel's not in for the championship. Ethan's not in for the championship. Henriksen Bell's not. It's literally a case of if Nicky wins this and Nathan stays where he is, Nicky's clinched the championship.
Yeah. He doesn't see it like that though, because he pulls to the outside going into the Porsche curve. This is such a risky move. I really don't want anything to happen to Nicky because he's such a championship protagonist. I didn't like it when something happened to Nathan either though. He thinks better of it, but this is where he's so strong and he's just going to be like, oh, I'm getting held up so much from Gabriel here going through the Porsche curves. That must be almost like walking pace to Nicky from the pace compared to what he has been. And the other thing that it's allowing is just the people behind to close right up. He goes so sideways, he's gone. He's in the wall.
Oh my. This is... Okay, so...
Now Nathan's like, what the heck has just happened? Oh no.
Well, that's a turn up for the books. I don't really know what to say now because that's completely swapped it back.
Yeah.
Because Nicky's going to have cooked his tyres now. Nathan's struggling with his tyres because he's cooked them from the slide.
And Nicky's going to have massive front end damage.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. Sorry,
that
viewers,
is heartbreaking.
But, yeah,
that is heartbreaking. I mean, Nicky said in his interview beforehand that he's pretty much settled on second. Maybe it was just destined to be.
Yeah.
The only thing that can happen now is they catch back up to the pack and there's another incident.
Yeah.
Which would be great for us.
Oh, as you say that, Henriksen Bell goes for a spin into the wall. It's all happening. It's all happening. Now, will it be enough for Nathan and Nicky? Yes, it will. Nathan and Nicky will go back past. I don't know about Nicky, actually, but Nathan certainly will. Yeah, this race is being turned up on its head.
Yeah,
It's got a podium position in the Mustang. What is going on? As we look back to the lead, taking our eyes off the championship for a second, Ethan Hill retains the lead from Gabriel Norse, and it's Catricala in P3, and he's in the tow. He is in the tow. So he's got a nice little gap here behind, and he's pushing on. But look back to the lead. Is Gabriel Norse going for the bump? I think he is. Yeah, Gabriel Norse bumping Ethan Hill all the way down the second Mulsanne straight. Catricala will be rubbing his hands together thinking, could this be my first win? We will wait and see. Ethan Hill on the outside. Gabriel Norse to the inside. They make contact. Ethan Hill is forced to cut the chicane. He's going to come back on, force Gabriel wide. Gabriel's going to come back and there's more contact. And this Mustang is just ever gaining. And now we've got a trio for the lead.
Say this is just going to let Catricala come in and wreak some more havoc. That's all I can imagine now. There's just going to be absolute carnage. The next lap's going to be their last lap. And I can only assume it's going to be absolute chaos, which is brilliant. I love it.
Gabriel Norse goes for the cutback on Ethan Hill. Ethan Hill stops it lovely. And there's a little bit of contact at the apex, but no harm done. Nathan is gaining the background along with Henriksen Bell and Nicky Taylor due to all this battling. But will there be enough time on the clock? Unless there is an incident, of course. Ethan Hill leads, Gabriel Norse in hot pursuit in P2. Catricala looking ever ominous in the Mustang. Ethan Hill goes defensive, Gabriel Norse goes to the outside. We've seen Gabriel Norse make so many moves at Indianapolis already. He is super brave and has got confidence in that push, similar to Nicky Taylor through the corners. He breaks late on the outside and he gets the move complete. Can he get it stopped for the tight? Yes, he can. That was a fantastic move, like we've seen so many times already in this race. Ethan Hill, though, he's looking back on the attack. He's looking to the inside. He's going to make a late move, or he thought about it. Gabriel Norse, though, is wise to it. Doesn't feel the need to go defensive, and he shouldn't either.
Yeah, the Mustang boat lost some time through them corners there. Which I did say, it's a boat, and it struggles through the corners. He didn't really catch up much on the straight either, which was interesting.
Yeah.
He was gaining a little bit, but he was in the tow, so it was. I don't know whether it was because them two were bump drafting and doing what they were doing, but he didn't really catch up. He caught up a little bit, and he got down to just under 8 temps as Ethan Hill spinned. Ethan Hill's round. Catricala into second.
Yeah. What is going on in this race? Everyone's losing it at the bitter end. That promotes Nathan Williams back through. Henriksen Bell will go back through along with Nicky Taylor, I believe. We'll watch. Ethan Hill, he goes defensive on Nicky Taylor. Nicky Taylor pulls to the outside and he gets the move complete. Catricala now, if he can get back within the toe of Gabriel Norse, do we have a final lap battle? We'll wait and see.
Well, I'm not saying anything because the opposite will happen. Actually, no, what I will say is, it's not going to happen. Gabriel Norse is going to win. and it's all going to be the smoothest race you've ever seen from now. Let's see if it carries on with the way it's been going so far.
Yeah, indeed. Nathan Williams is back in the podium position. This is just how many incidents there's been. Henriksen Bell, P5. Nicky Taylor all over the back, though. Slow exit from Henriksen Bell there. We're now side by side going down the Dunlop Hill. Ethan Hill will be rubbing his hands together, but Nicky Taylor gets the move complete, and although it's not where he wanted to be, he is back up into P4, so any positions he can get or will matter. That Mustang now will come into its own down the Mulsanne. I think he's a little bit too far back though, but Nathan Williams is flying, and he is gaining ever more on that Mustang, so it'll be interesting to see if we have a final lap battle. Who knows?
I think you've just done your GCSEs, Tom, so are you able to do the maths quick to see if Nathan Williams makes another mistake and Nicky gets into third? Where does Nathan Williams have to finish to actually still win the championship?
I think he's got a 6-point buffer, 7-point buffer, I believe. So
Okay.
Nathan Williams is 3 currently. Nicky Taylor would need to be. He'd need to win.
He'd need to win it. Okay. So
Yeah.
What
So
if Nathan makes a mistake?
Then it's all up in. It depends how many people get past, how big the mistake is.
Okay.
But it would depend if Catch Carlo can defend here from Nathan Williams. Be interesting to see. We go into the second chicane. That Mustang looks like it's on rails, but it's just not quite extracting the pace that Nathan Williams is. Nathan Williams seems to get so sideways. He is wrestling that car to his absolute utmost. Gabriel Norse is sort of checked out. Catch Carlo gained a 10th in Sector 1, but it's just, I don't think it's quite enough. He needs a little bit more from that Mustang. Nathan Williams could go for the bump drop if he gets close enough, but I don't think he will. It's all out now. You see Catch Carlo is not that far away. He was so close to a win at Sebring, and he can potentially get a win here if Gabriel North makes a mistake. But like I said, I don't think he will. Nathan Williams goes purple in Sector 1. Fantastic there. Final lap of the season. Coming to play. Nicky Taylor on 97.2, similar to Nathan Williams, so only a few hundreds off a purple Sector 1. But Henriksen Bell is well within the toe here. Are we going to see a little move creep in into Indianapolis? He's to the outside. We're now side by side with Nicky Taylor. Nicky Taylor probably can't believe his luck. He's like, why won't I catch a break? But Henriksen Bell to the outside. Nicky Taylor on the inside. He cuts back across and secures that P4. Will Nicky Taylor now back off? He's very, very sideways. Gets it stopped though, opens up the corner beautifully, and is now all over the back of Henriksen Bell. Will he go for a dive bomb on Henriksen Bell? No, he won't. He'll think better of it and potentially try and make a move in his strongest sector. Now, we go on board with Gabriel Norse. He's got a nice gap now to catch Carla, but looking on the back of Capture Carla, Nathan Williams is very, very close. And we know he is also strong through Sector 3, even though he's running a slightly lower downforce setup. Gabriel Norse has gained 3 tenths in Sector 2, with Nathan Williams only gaining a 10th from the Mustang. A Mustang has got to be hooked up to secure P2 over Nathan Williams. We'll cut our attention back to the Albert Henriksen Nicky Taylor battle quickly. Nicky Taylor all over the back of Henriksen Bell. You can see the speed he can carry compared to Henriksen Bell. Henriksen Bell going to be feeling the pressure, but it's almost like a repeat of race 1. Now going to go into the track limits corner where most people have been struggling. Nicky Taylor all over the back of Henriksen Bell. I don't think he's quite close enough. We'll now turn our attention though to Gabriel Norse, who comes through the forward chicanes. He's going to brake for the final 2 corners of the season, bounces across the sausage curb, and Gabriel Norse will win the final race of the season. Nathan Williams is so close to Capture Carla, but Capture Carla holds on for a P2 with Nathan Williams coming across the line in P3. Nathan Williams is your provisional Phoenix Sim Racing GT Challenge champion. Nicky Taylor in P5. Henriksen Bell holding on. Nicky Taylor will come across P2 provisionally in the championship. And it's going to be Henriksen Bell, I believe, that rounds out the top 3. Wow, what a final race of the season, Brad.
It was mega. It was mega. It was a bit of a shame there was no excitement on the last lap. I tried for you all. But it's absolutely gutting for Nicky for the position that he found himself in and then lost it. But that's racing. That's what makes racing. It's one of them. You know, you got to take the good with the bad. And yeah, what a last race to end the season.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I hope you all enjoyed the final race of the season. We will go to a short ad break now and catch up with our top 3 and our champion. Well, welcome back, everybody, and our final top 3 interviews. But firstly, a huge shout out to Nathan Williams, your Phoenix Sim Racing GT Challenge winner and champion after 8 drooling weeks. Nathan, how does that feel to be crowned champion?
It's really pleased to be champion. It's sort of just a bit disappointing now I drove that race, having this very unnecessary spin, which put me in the situation where I don't think I was going to win it for about half the race. But to be champion is a really good thing.
100%, I can imagine. Obviously, that spin added a little bit of pressure. How are you feeling after you went into the gravel? Were you like, oh no, or were you just locked in for the rest of the race?
I think I tried to just try and get locked in as quickly as I could. I think I made another mistake on that lap, and then I sort of just tried to put my head down. And then as soon as I saw yellow flags and then merging through the smoke, there's Nicky's car, I had a massive bit of relief because I think up to that point Nicky was a champion, so it's just sort of trying to push to the back and see what I could do. And then from there, obviously, other people did since I was just able to get back up to P3.
Fantastic. Well, a massive congratulations to yourself for being the provisional champion. You've driven a great race all season, and many congratulations. Go and get a nice, well-deserved break, and we'll be in contact shortly about prizes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, speaking to Nathan Williams for the final time. Now, we're going to skip over Katra Carla due to some circumstances, which hopefully we'll be getting an answer off him a little bit later in writing. But currently, you're going to be joined by your Race 2 winner here at Le Mans and final race winner of the season, Gabriel Norse. How does that feel to win at Le Mans and hold off some fantastic pressure? And I must say, I was super, super impressed with your moves around the outside of Indianapolis. What bravery.
Yeah. I kind of just had to hold on to first as much as I could, because I knew as soon as I was in the dirty air, I was just going to go around. So I was just trying to keep as front I could, and just stay in first. And yeah, I had to send it into some of the high speeds just to fend off all of the fast attacking people from behind.
Fantastic. Well, again, huge congratulations. And secondly, you know, obviously being around people within the championship, did that add any layer of pressure not to try and take them out, or were you just full focus for the win?
I mean, it didn't really count anything for me, considering I started the championship quite late. So I was just more focused on staying in first and just fighting everyone like I fight everyone.
Fantastic. Well, huge congratulations. Coming into it as a rookie halfway through the season in such a tight competitive field of cars, and to come away with a few race wins, few podiums, some fantastic racing and overall great pace. It's been great to have you on the championship, and we hope to have you back shortly.
Yeah, it was really fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's been great having you on. And there you have it, your top 1 and top 3. I'm not sure if we've got an answer from... He's currently just writing, I've just been told. So we will have an answer from Katra Carla. So in the meantime, me and Brad are going to talk about this evening. Brad, did you enjoy that? Was that enough to satisfy your requirements? Not quite sure where Brad has gone. We're just receiving a message now from Katra Carla. And he says... Finally, the championship is over, and I managed to get a good placement on my favourite track. Congrats to all. I tried my best to gain as much points as possible with the only Mustang on track. Congratulations to the admins for the championship. Hope next champ will have more drivers and will be more enjoyable. See you next, guys. Well, there you have it. Your top 3 from the final race of the season has been rounded out. We all thank you so much for watching. We hope you thoroughly enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see any more of this sort of content. We'll have some very, very exciting news in the future on iRacing and hopefully some more leagues. So we'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one.